welcome at the Purim Special. It's a great honor to meet you, Rabbi Rabinowitz. And such a late hour, you are a very busy man. And we recorded this video for Purim, for the sake of Purim, because as I told you privately before that, since you had arrived into the middle of a war situation, kind of, you had just arrived, and people were all making all kind of conspiracy and suspicions about every act of yours and whose person you are at this. So, for those who doesn't know what we were speaking about, it is about, may I think, the ongoing struggle or appropriation of the Orthodoxy of Hungary.
Absolutely.
So, how would you express what you've seen as you had arrived? So how you got connected with our struggle?
I was approached by the committee of the Mispalim in the shule, and they asked me to come here from Israel. I came. There was an election. I got 92% of the votes, and I'm here for the Mispalim, for the sake of the Mispalim, for the sake of the Kehillah, to avoid all people who are trying to be obstacle to the tradition of the Hungarian Jewry, the Orthodox Hungarian Jewry, stemming from the Chassam Sofer and his disciples.
So far as I've seen what happened, and maybe this is the point to tell briefly what's going on from the perspective of a Hungarian Jew. I was born here, and I'm a very, very small person of this community. But as I've seen, when I coming back to Hungary after a couple of years, I've seen that there was a struggle between the community and the Rosh Hakol. They wanted to replace the Rosh Hakol. The Rosh Hakol called into a very questionable and suspicious online election under the pretext of COVID, although it was after the COVID. And 40 people unlawfully, according the Eda Haredi Din, was joining to our community and replaced the leadership, if I can say so, and put to charge Mr. Kessler and Oirechman. Probably we will speak a bit about them, and make us join to the Chabad, Emich, which is a daughter church of the Chabad. It's going on in Hungary with quite a few churches as well. Same kind of fresh appropriations. So have you seen such an interference with the autonomy of a local community from the state and from such court cases and court decisions as you had to see a month ago?
Yes. Well, there's no question. There's 3 decisions of the Eda Haredis, which is the highest rabbinical court in the world, that forbids the people who are running this organization from running it and from being Rosh Hakol and for doing what they're doing. Basically, what they're doing is they're obstructing every positive aspect of the Orthodox community. They're denying access. They change the keys. They don't let us come. They don't let us pray when we want. They don't let us study at all. They keep the place locked. They keep the main synagogue locked 24 hours, 365 days a year. Not one member of our community is allowed to come into our shul. This is the shul that we daven the high holidays, other holidays, for over 100 years. They block it. The excuse of renovation is a poor excuse, because there was not renovation here for more than 7 or 15 days, and we are already by over 18 months that they don't let us in because of renovation.
But they let in every ministers and state secretaries and having big events,
Yes.
with the events without community.
Supposedly they broken glass over the floor, but it didn't prevent them from bringing there quite a few ministers from the Israeli government, for having there an affair for 160 people, young men and ladies, for having their concert of 60 couples, for having them dance there. If it's dangerous, how can you let the people in? How can you make there a concert? Obviously, it's a hoax. And obviously, the only purpose is to restrict our community and to do whatever they can do in order to make it very, very tight for us. This is why they changed the key. That's why they don't give our Rabbi a set of keys. That's why they lock the place, that the whole Shabbat, you can come in only for a few hours. You cannot study it at Friday night. You cannot study Shabbos morning. You cannot study Shabbos afternoon. They stand in the way to restrict our existence in our compound Kazinczy.
On the gate, I was asking, the shopkeeper was asking to having the Mincha Ma'ariv, the praying time posted. And not just the Shabbat, like in a not used neolog synagogue. But yes, there is Kol Shachris Mincha Ma'ariv, course all service in time, and to sabotage practically any connection between between our community and the tourists. They are really building on. They really want to make big businesses everywhere, restaurants, and come here and eat and close the big synagogue. So in this point, it's not just upsetting, but it's so cheap, so ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Just like these games with your settings in the synagogue, with your benches.
Yes, that they move constantly, every day, twice a day. They make sure to move the benches, so there will be no room for my stender, for my chair. It's totally ludicrous. This is the people who would like to call themselves caring for the Orthodox community.
No, actually, this synagogue is as good for some as it closed, just like if it would be theirs. Because if there is no Mincha Ma'ariv Bechol, the only space remains the Keren Or, the Chabad. Exactly. So it's really an up to down conquer.
And they also make sure that in all the advertisements by all the tour groups, they make sure that our prayer times are not posted, as if we don't exist, because their goal is to make sure that we are empty, that we cannot continue. I don't know what they have in mind, but to say that they have in mind and they care for the Orthodox community is 100% not true.
Let me ask something. Even your grandfather was a Ruv. You were a Ruv. You really know the Haredi community as much as I will never, probably. Never say never. And as well as you mentioned many times, you are not a Chabad eater. You was studying together with Rabbi Menachem and with one of his right-hand man. And what do you think about why it can go unchecked by the so somehow I would think Chabad is a hierarchical structure. A little cell, how could go like a cancer, or is it true that the Chabad everywhere like this, as some says, or it is some unique North Balkanian influence?
It's a combination of both. In Prague, there were serious problems. They tried to get hold of the shul. In Krakow, were serious problems. Here, it's bolder because of the connections that they have to the prime minister, and they feel that they can do whatever they want. Now, let it be clear. This community, the Orthodox Hungarian community, this shul was built 113 years ago. The community here is much more than 113 years. Chabad is here only 35 years the most. What right do they have to disturb the prayers and the order and whatever is done in our shul in Kazinczy? Who gave them the right? Where are they coming from? Now, it's not only what I'm saying, it's what the Eidach Redis issued 3 rulings, and they never changed, and they have absolutely no right to intervene here. They have as many as Chabad houses as they want, and I'm very happy for that. Let Chabad do whatever they're doing, but they should do it in their places. Here, don't disturb, don't deny access, and make sure to have hands off Kazinczy.
Hands off Kazinczy. At that point, there is what comes to my mind that from the beginning, I've seen a couple of struggles between power and community here and there. And there are people who, let's get prepared for the next court case, which will be sold off by the lawyers anyway. And at that point, I was sitting out to the gate and start to do my daily picketing, if I may say so, especially for the tourists, because I think that there are, exactly because it's such a hierarchical structure, we might have more trust on putting some pressure abroad and let that pressure to clear the situation on its way, traditional way. And actually this Hands Off Kazinczy sounds like a protest song at front of 770. That would be nice.
I'm not convinced that the leaders in 770 are knowledgeable, and I'm certainly not convinced that they're supportive of these moves. From the hundreds of times that I had the privilege of being with the Lubavitcher Rebbe Zochain Levrocha, this would be something that he would never, ever approve of. But it became a very big organization without a proper leader, and that's why we suffer from what they're doing here.
What do you think about the tourists who are the pilgrims who are coming? How can we what looks very strange for me, that I know little about Eda Haredi, but something that the Satmarer, they are pretty much respects it. And what looks a bit of upside down for me, that how could it happen that those people who are quite well known about to be noisy if they really want to, are so quietly accept that the observation of all of these spaces. Now, can I say that Kerestur is pretty much in the hand of the Chabad, or not yet? Not yet. Not yet. But so are they don't mind the expansion, this sort of expansion, that and they losing a space where they don't need to listen Mishaberach al Hatzahal, which is one of the, every synagogue adapted some Israeli ritual as we haven't.
Yes, it's mind-boggling. I don't understand why they accept it, and I don't know what kind of dealings that Chabad has with them, but I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. But then again, I don't care about what they do in other places. I was brought here not by Chabad, but by the people who daven here, by the people who are members of the Kehillah. I was brought here to take care of them, to be their rabbi, and I am their rabbi. And Chabad has no say whatsoever. The Rosh HaKol can say whatever he wants. He is not an Orthodox member of the Orthodox Kehillah.
It's very important to know because this is how repetition of a lying is an ancient way of Eastern Europe, that they just repeat that the aggressor is the victim and so on, and until the people just get used to it.
Absolutely. There's no this place, this Kehillah is an Orthodox Kehillah. And unfortunately, the two people who run it, neither of them is a member of the Orthodox Kehillah. Neither of them has any knowledge of what the Orthodox Kehillah needs. And neither of them cares for what Orthodox Kehillah needs. Look in our place. Look how our shul looks like. Look on the entrance. Look on the ladies section. Instead of having it in a respectable way, you have the 3 meter high, thick curtains. The ladies don't see, don't hear. They're in a corner. They're in an angle. Show me one more place in Europe where a ladies section is so dilapidated, like the one in Chastel. It's disgraceful. I'm not talking about the facilities here. You can have here 60, 70, 80 people, men and ladies, and there's one bathroom for men and ladies, and this bathroom is in a disastrous situation. It's embarrassing to bring there an animal. It's really embarrassing. Now they have no problem to lock up the main shul. They have no problem to put money supposedly to to build a museum in the entire basement of the complex. But one room of facility they cannot provide. There should be men and ladies separate. There should be a room that would not be an embarrassment to bring their people.
If you could tell something about the kashrut, especially, the tourists who come to this country allegedly by, we have everything ready and kosher. So what's the situation?
Well, the situation is very, very sad. There's absolutely not one kosher establishment in Budapest. I'm very sad to say it. And I worked and I'm working, and I hope in the near future to get a few establishments that should be kosher. But for the time being, all the restaurants here are not kosher. There's not proper supervision. There's not proper products used. And I strongly advise to any religious Jew that comes to Budapest, either to bring his own food or to buy here what you have, a proper hechsher, not the local hechsher, because the local hechsher is really, really in a very, very sad state. It's just simply not kosher.
So what's your vision? What can be
My
done?
vision here, and I have a few people that are ready to help, is to start here a kosher establishment for dairy and for meat. For the first time in who knows how many years, to have here a kosher bakery, which the city needs. And the possibilities are limitless. I can see very well, as I was promised when I was hired, that they would open here a kollel to bring here at least 8 to 12 families with young children to see all the apartments in the complex being occupied by people who are building the community instead of the vacant, broken state that it is now. We don't need a museum. We need here 12 families should come and support the Jewish lifestyle. I can envision the place with having children running there and happy and learning, boys, girls, without any politics, just living the life of Torah, and see them being happy, see the place flourishing, see the minyanim growing, see the building used, and having the true simcha. I'm not talking now about the monetary issue. That's totally not mine. Not my objection. My objection is to get the place to be alive, and alive by Orthodox Jews without any politics.
Let us use our space. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And on the end, for the sake of Purim, I found something. And I forgot to mention something common between the two Mordechay, that I had learned, I had read the letter on which you allegedly fired by this allegedly Rosh impersonator, or I don't know how to call him, and in which the first and main reason, big letter, that your alleged active participation of certain comedy events of, if we can call it, as I was studying Havruta in the Aryeh 9 theater with Rav Benjamin Zev. You know, I was played the fool, he was the Hakam, and we were reading the Lulav Hagazul. Yeah. Stolen items and spaces.
It's a very sore topic by them.
Well, Mr. Kessler and Oyrachman signed your fire. Next day, Thursday, Mr. Oyrachman got a stroke. And as far as I see, that after such an event, somebody has two ways. One, to step back and rethink, or second, to pretend that the deniement, and pretty much looks like that everything goes according. you know. We will see the next year. Hopefully, I'm really happy to have you in our community. I think your wide back is very important, and your resilience in our hard times. You know, here we are dying always for 2,000 years. We are not dying. This is how we live.
So, coming to Purim.
Come to Purim, yes.
We are going to have a real Yeshua, the same way the Eden had in the days of Haman, and we'll have years to celebrate it in a Jewish way.
We are very resistant people. Thank you very much.